Wonderful. So good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for your time. And my name is Payal Singh. I'm the CEO and co-founder of YoGPS Inc. YoGPS is a fleet telematics company with theft protection for all moving assets. My co-founder and I have over 30 years of combined experience in this industry. I spearheaded a technology company in Dubai that focused on IoT and networking solutions and led to $10 million in revenue in the first 3 years of inception. I've worked for almost 10 years leading product development at TELUS and have been awarded for it. My co-founder, James, he has over 15 years of experience developing telematics and IoT solutions, and he owned a GPS tracking company a decade ago in India. YoGPS is set to be the #1 fleet tracking solution for small businesses in North America, tracking all kinds of vehicles and equipment. Year over year, we have grown 350% with revenue of $350,000. Only YoGPS is designed to track all moving assets, be it trucks, cars, boats, machinery, affordably and simply. This is just a quick overview of our customers' density across North America. The green ones are moving, the blue have not moved for an hour, and the red ones are parked. The problem we are trying to solve is that small business has no visibility into their fleet locations, which results in delayed delivery, job abandonment, and high fuel costs, mainly out of idling. Research shows that last year in North America alone, 6 billion gallons of fuel was wasted due to idling, amounting to $11 billion of cost, not to mention the carbon emissions. And the existing solutions that are in the market, they are too complex for small business. On top of this, thefts are rising. Every 6 minutes, a car is stolen in Canada, every 40 seconds in US, and this impacts businesses as well. $1 billion worth of losses happened for vehicle theft last year and $400 million of equipment theft. We have invested over 4 years working and integrating with different kinds of trackers, and we support over 200 protocols, which makes us very unique. We're the only one in the market today that can integrate with a diverse type of GPS trackers, and that allows businesses to track all assets. So let's look at this picture, for example. On the left, you see a truck carrying the trailer. Now, when the truck is carrying the trailer, our customers use the hardwired tracker in this scenario. And this truck then brings the trailer to a destination and leaves it and goes to pick up another trailer, which you see on the right. Once the trailer is parked, there is no power source in it. And at that point, our customers use our solar-powered GPS tracker to monitor the trailer because trailer thefts are rising as well. Let's look at another scenario. In this scenario, on the left, you see a small snow shovel, and our customers use our magnetic tracker to track this, which runs on rechargeable battery. On the right side, you see a pickup truck, which is also a snow shovel, and for that, our customers use an OBD tracker to track it. So a single business having shoveling of different types of vehicles can just come to us as a one-stop shop and use different types of trackers for different needs, all while integrating into a simple to use, easy, affordable platform, cloud-based platform. So with our solution, our software solution, customers can do global real-time tracking, unlimited travel history with route playback, multi-asset monitoring and alerts examples that we saw. And we also have advanced analytics, and we integrate with other IoT sensors as well. A scenario would be one of our customers wanted their trucks to be monitored, but at the same time wanted to have temperature monitoring because they're transferring frozen foods. because of our unique integration that we've already completed, it's very easy for us to add another IoT sensor and give customer the ability to monitor the temperature. The market opportunity is huge. Many governments actually are now making it mandatory across the board to have fleet tracking, GPS trackers in vehicles. And just the total addressable market, the global fleet management market is growing at a CAGR at 15% and currently is at $52 billion. Our addressable market, even if we just cater to 1 to 99 employees of small business in North America with fleet of 3 and plus, it is over $1 billion. And did you know 97% of Canadian businesses are small businesses, which is also true for US. And if going conservatively, even if we just take 50% as a factor in, and certain industries of that, a percentage of certain industries, our obtainable market over a period of time is over $100 million. In terms of competitive landscape, so there are different categories of competitors. So let's look at first the segment. On the left, you see the small business, enterprise, and consumers. Our sweet spot is the small business between 3 to 50 vehicles or trailers. And in that segment, there aren't many players. There are a few that do single device, like an OBD device, such as Raven, Mojo. More expensive, also very limited. An OBD port is not available in a trailer or a boat or a golf cart. So very limited use case. They can do cars and pickup trucks, but we can do it all. Our integration of IoT, our unlimited range, our integration to move of tracking all kinds of assets makes us very unique. There are some industry leaders in the enterprise segment, such as Samsara and Geotab. They're very expensive, $5,000 per vehicle for a 7-year contract. They have comprehensive solutions, but they usually target the government, city of Calgary, RCMP, or what have you. And they're too complex for small businesses to use. Sometimes you need an IT department just to manage these solutions. Small businesses need something easy, affordable, at the same time able to cater to their use case. And then we have the consumer segment where there are some players having single device or some resellers, and also substitutes which are Bluetooth based, not at all GPS tracking, such as AirTags that works when there's an iPhone nearby and goes blind when there isn't, and also lacks analytics and a different suite of solutions required for businesses. In terms of some of our customers, they range from salt farms to food processing to plumbing, HVAC, landscaping, construction, towing, energy solutions. And we are vertical agnostic. And just to share with you one review that we got from one of a testimonial from a customer, they are a meat processing factory in Ontario. As per them, they said, we are a meat processing factory. Due to idling and delayed deliveries, our revenue was impacted as delayed delivery results in product losing freshness and client dissatisfaction. With YoGPS, we were able to track our trucks, tractors, and trailers. Productivity improved, client satisfaction increased with a positive impact on revenue. In terms of our go-to-market, the first thing I would like to share with you is our business model. On an average, there is a $75 one-time fee for the device with a recurring subscription plan on an average of $18 a month. So when a customer buys a solution, they get the device, the SIM card, the cloud-based SaaS solution, which is a software, and comprehensive support. Our target is small business in North America between 3 to 50 vehicles. We started selling online. We launched last year in May 2022. And within 6 months, we saw a lot of traction, predominantly through selling on Amazon. And now we have extended that. We noticed that small business adoption started to increase and there was a sweet spot for us. And we have now hired sales team to extend that direct sales opportunity with targeted outreach. From a digital marketing campaign perspective, we continued our online campaigns as our cost of acquisition is slowly going down as we are ranking higher and higher on on some of the best sellers. And we also plan to continue working on our social media posts, press releases, user-generated content, and our organic rankings of our website. We would also then include industry partnerships with some online stores, such as Walmart has invited us to be listing with them. It's an invite-only option. Also, some insurances and auto shops are something that we plan to explore in the future. In terms of our financial overview, over a 5-year period, our target is to reach approximately $50 million in revenue. Slowly, we would notice, as we are already noticing, that the Amazon sales online will continue because some of the business users, small businesses, actually use their personal ID, buy on Amazon, and then come back to us saying, I evaluated your product. I would like to have 10 of these now. But slowly we would see the direct sale taking over and our B2B segment increasing all the more over a period of time. Our year-to-date revenue is $350,000 with a monthly recurring revenue of $19,000. In terms of our revenue split, in the last 2 months, we've noticed that hardware is 25% of our revenue and software subscriptions 75%. And the gross margin, hardware, we make around 20% margin, and on software, we actually make 90%, but this is an average price and 80% margin. We are seeking $500,000 for our seed round. I apologize for the typo there. And in terms of our previous funding, $100,000 have been put by the founders. So we have predominantly bootstrapped the company, and we have done a friends and family round early this year and raised $100,000. We would like to target Series A for continuing growth and acceleration in 2026. In terms of use of funds, predominantly 70% of the funds, which is $350,000, would be used in sales and marketing to increase our reach, grow quickly, capture market share quickly. From product development perspective, we will continue to invest in R&D and add modular functionality, which will keep creating barriers to entry for other players. And hence we target 20% towards that, and then 10% towards the operational expenses. Which then brings me to conclude, and I would like to say thank you, and I'm happy to answer any questions if there are.
Thank you, Payal. Megan, do you want to kick off the questions and or feedback?
Sure. We can also kind of go through the deck together and volley back and forth, Lori, if that works for you.
Sure. I can make it a grid view with me.
Sure.
Okay.
So kind of off the top, I thought you did a really great job on the intro slide. You kind of got to the point very quickly. And your overview of the co-founders was excellent. I felt like it made sense with the combination of industry experience and your prior startup experience. I was kind of waiting later in the deck to see if you would go into the team in more depth. Do you have a team around you, or is it just the co-founders at this point?
We do. In the past, one of the feedback I've always got is I go over, so I kind of put it in the appendix slide.
Yeah, it can be hard to fit everything in. It just kind of depends on what you'd like to prioritize. So that's just personal preference of mine. I think if you're tight on time, which you are for the final pitch, it's okay to kind of focus on the co-founders like you've done. You just might want to make like one sentence mention of how large the team is beyond the two of you, just to give investors a sense.
That makes sense. Thank you for that.
Yeah. Okay. The customer density map, I thought that came a bit early in the deck because I wasn't yet clear on what the core customer pain was.
Right.
Lori, I don't know how you felt about that. I sort of was left wondering, like, why are you showing this to me?
Right.
Yeah, I agree. It should probably come a little bit later.
Okay. I had that as a thank you slide and before. Maybe I just took it just to leave the room with, look how much business we've already, like, we've been well received in the market is what I'm trying to say. But then I got feedback that if you have traction, show it to us. But maybe I put it incorrect. Where would you suggest I should put it, like, ideally?
So I think like the slide 3 here on the grid, that's where you're kind of talking about your traction, giving it at a high level. I thought that was fine where you had it, but the
Yeah.
customer density map, to me, the point was not around like, look at all of the traction we have. I was left wondering, are you trying to show me all of the different complexities of the movement tracking
I see.
the customer problem?
And also I think like the number of trucks is interesting,
Yeah.
but I'm more interested sort of the number of customers.
Yeah.
'Cause it's more of a, if that's all one customer, that's great, but it's, again, it's, I think a customer traction is more important than the number of trucks that got a device on them.
Right. Right. Yeah. It's spread out across small businesses. So
Yeah. So you could either like move it, maybe if that's a specific customer, is it a specific customer use case? You're showing us all of the assets of one.
I'm showing you all the assets. I'm just trying
Yeah.
to see, show you, like, we're also in North America, which is organic growth. We didn't really put effort there, like in US.
Right. I mean, you could either take it out entirely if it's not really sending the message that you need it to, or you could move it and sort of have like a quick case study. Maybe you do one where you tie in a customer review as well as showing the density, and then tell us the outcomes for that particular customer. That could tie it all into one little package.
Okay, so maybe after testimonial, you mean?
Yeah, like I see it as more of like, give me one slide, tell me the customer what their core problem was, show me all of the different assets they had and why it was so complex for them, and then
Right.
tell me how they achieved results with your solution.
Okay, so a case study versus.
I think that would work better personally than just showing the customer density map.
Okay, got it. I made
Something to
note.
think about.
Thank you. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, and then if we can go to the problem slide.
Sure.
I think it was, yeah. Yeah, I think it was this one. So I was kind of left wondering, so you talk about a few different problems and then you only gave us numbers for the theft problem. Is there a
Right.
reason for that? Like, can you quantify the other elements of the customer problem that you mentioned? So like, what's the impact of delayed deliveries? What's kind of like the tendency to lose customers and revenue opportunities if this becomes a recurring problem?
I've tried that. It's hard because then these are real, like, firstly, we're targeting small businesses as business level, small business, uh, and they've told us that these are the issues that we are helping them solve, but I can try to find something.
Yeah.
I was confused a bit by the theft one as well. I mean, I can
Yeah.
see how this could tell you that a vehicle has been stolen, but I don't know how it stops it from being stolen.
Yes, it's a protection, doesn't prevent. So you get an alert if there is a theft, and you can immediately share, like one of our customer would be his equipment from a construction site got stolen, and he got an alert that it's moving. He shared that location immediately. That equipment cost $85,000. He immediately shared it with the police, and it was intercepted. So while we kind of position it as a protection, we can't really prevent it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think just overall that part could be a bit more clear. And if you are going to talk through these different elements of the pain, then I would try your best to estimate the total addressable pain number. And if not, you might want to refrain from having the theft numbers right on the slide, because it leaves me a bit confused. Like, is that the most pressing part of the problem, or is it all of these different things in combination?
Yes, I understand. Okay.
Okay.
That's
And
fair.
then, so is the key to your solution that you have the ability to track all of these different examples you were showing us, like with the truck bed on the truck and then the bed on its own and then the snow slide? Is that the core to your solution?
The core, basically, it's a cloud-based fleet tracking platform, but it's a differentiator. So the competitors that I showed, they have like one device, so they can't do the flatbed, for example. Or somebody would have like just an OBD that they could do the pickup. So no one in the market can do all kinds of moving assets while keeping it simple, integrated into one platform, which is the uniqueness for us.
But you're not actually creating the devices.
We're
you-
yeah, we sell the devices too.
You sell them.
That's, yes, and then we integrate that with our software platform.
And are the devices your own unique technology, or they're like off-the-shelf technology you resell?
We OEM them through overseas factory, and there are protocols that you need to integrate. So we have relationships with global manufacturers. We've integrated with them, and that took us years.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't really get that from the deck, so
I
it
see.
might be something you could weave in when you're talking about the solution.
Right.
And kind of just like at a very high level, like how are you able to do this where no other competitors can do it, and you're also cheaper than enterprise solutions?
Right.
I was left kind of being like, wow, this sounds amazing. Like, why has no one else done it?
Yeah. So I don't know if I should incorporate that, but I just a little bit that brings back on our knowledge as founders. So for example, my co-founder James sees we've got this trade secret. So typically a small business, there are two things that happen. Typically a small business would only be able to do one kind of tracker, and because that integration is not easy with the hardware, either they'll build their own or they'll go buy OEM it. We put in time to integrate with all industry protocols. So we kind of support over 3,000, and hence IoT sensors are also very easy for us to do. The second thing is our trade secret, where the way we've architected the solution. So typically a small business would just go into, let's say, an Amazon cloud, a Google cloud, host it. Immediately your expenses between $5,000 to $10,000 before you know it. The same billions of transactions we can process with $500 in terms, while keeping it secure, while keeping it robust and scalable. There's a way to architect it, and it's a very high level of knowledge that's not easily found in the industry. But James has it, who's the co-founder with me.
Okay.
And that helps us then translate that into discounts to our customers.
Yeah. I would try and emphasize that a bit more in your pitch, because it is compelling, and otherwise I was kind of left wondering, okay, this sounds great, but how are you actually able to protect it? What kind of barriers do you have?
Right. Understand. That's a fair point.
Can I ask a question about your sales process? I mean, I understand your sales through Amazon, so congratulations, that seems to be working.
Thank you.
But the rest of the business is B2B. And and when you talk about small businesses, it's really like a B2C business, because a small business is more like a consumer. And the killer for almost all those kind of businesses is the customer acquisition cost. It's very hard to get the customer acquisition cost low enough on a B2C customer or B2 small business that you can make profit on it. So that go-to-market model of selling to small businesses is a real challenge. And I'm curious to whether you're planning is it primarily inbound, primarily outbound? Sort of what's your sales process going to be for those small businesses?
Absolutely. It's a fair question. So basically, currently we hired 2 sales rep. One has joined today and one joined 2 months ago. But before that, I was doing it. So we had a 2-pronged approach. We would have targeted outreach, emails and sales call to construction, transportation, certain industries that we knew within our target market in Canada first. And we generated inquiries to that. What we noticed is once we reach, we close. And once we close, our POC started 2018, and those proof of concept, and those customers are still with us. They don't churn. They just stick because they like the product. And the second thing that we do is we're also working towards our organically bringing the website up so that we can generate leads, which then we go and close. So I was able to do what I was able to do so far. Now with 2 teams, I'm already seeing the funnel building and the closings starting to happen. So through adding more team members in sales, organically bringing up the website and targeting and making online targeted ads and targeted outreach, and eventually industry partnership. We have many auto shops coming to us saying, many trucks come to us for maintenance. Can we also pitch yours and get something out of it? We are not there yet, but we would like to be, because we are resource constrained right now.
Yeah, if you can do inbound sales, that's great. Outbound tends to be very expensive. And so I'd certainly suggest track your customer acquisition costs closely, because that tends to be the killer. My only other fundamental question was, you talked about the raise. What were the terms? You talked about what the raise, but you didn't say what the terms were.
Yes. So in the friends and family round that we did, it was equity, 1% given to them for $50,000. There were two investors at the valuation of 5 million.
And so that it would be a valuation of 5 million for the next round?
Yes.
Okay. I didn't have any other questions.
My
Okay.
only other thing was on the total addressable market. Could you quickly jump to that?
Sure.
Okay. So how did, you might have said it, but there's a lot of information coming at us. How did you calculate the 52 billion?
This is online available data that the global fleet management market today stands at 52 billion, and
Yeah.
it's growing at a CAGR of 15%.
Okay. Yeah, I thought that might be the case. So I would recommend trying to do some bottoms up sizing for your TAM if possible.
Okay.
External market research, it's okay, but that's not really giving us a good sense of what your opportunity is with your business. Like, this is telling you the total value of a very gigantic market that includes a lot of different inputs and players.
Right.
And then keep in mind too that that number kind of needs to drive properly with your pain sizing number.
Right.
So the vehicle theft numbers that you gave us, and then hopefully it'll kind of make sense with this slide.
Understand. Yeah.
I'm also curious what you mean by small business, because in this case, it's not so much a revenue number, it's how many vehicles do they have to be tracked. I have no
Yeah.
sense if that's sort of 1,000, 150, where's the sort of the threshold where you would consider it a target market?
So for calculation, I think it's a fair point, and I have been struggling a little bit with this slide actually, because when I did my business model and the projections, I did it based on small businesses in Canada in construction, manufacturing, transportation, taking it, and they were around $400,000. Sorry, 400,000 businesses between 1 to 99 employees. I took 50% of that, assuming they would have a fleet, and then I did a corresponding activity for US. And that's how I came, after that factoring, I came down with our average deal size being $2,500, multiplied those numbers and came to $1 billion. So that's how I calculated the addressable market. And then
But how did you go from the revenue of the company to the number of employees to the number of vehicles they have to track? And somebody could have lots of employees but no vehicles, or vice versa.
yes. So it's hard to find the small businesses with vehicles. So I just put a factor of 50%, saying any small business between 1 to 99 employees, 50% of those in these specific industries would have fleet between 3 to 50 vehicles.
Okay.
I didn't know if there is any other suggestion you could, a thought process that you could suggest. I'm happy to explore that.
Don't know. I mean, have you thought of going to the so people who manufacture vehicles and find out who they sell to? Is there data available from that route to find out who their market looks like? And because I think it's important. I mean, it's the number of vehicles is the only thing that's really important to you.
Oh, number of vehicles, yeah. Understand.
Okay, I think we're going to have to hold it there to make sure we have enough time for Atena.
Thank you for your feedback. I really appreciate it.
Right.